Hi, I'm Yamalite, you're watching Early Game View, and this is my first impressions of Stories, the Path of Destinies. It's a game made by a company called Spearhead Games, and you might have seen me doing a preview on it a couple of months ago. The idea of this game is basically make your own story mixed with Bastion with pretty awesome narrator. To say that this is my first impressions would be a bit unfair because I actually have beaten the game, and by beaten I mean that I have unlocked the final true story that ends with a good ending basically. As you can see here, I have unlocked 4 stories out of 24. 3 of them ended in a horrible death, and one of them was actually the winning one. And on the right side, the glowing things are the clues that you will need to actually unlock the winning story. So depending on how you play, you might actually take way longer than me. It took me, I think, about 5 hours to do that. I don't want to spoil anything to you, so I won't show you any of the stories or clues because they do reveal quite a lot about the game. And one more thing is that I will try to evade spoilers as much as I can, but unfortunately the game is built in a way that it's basically, you will see spoilers anyway. So if this is something that you're worried about, then maybe it would be the best to shut down right now and go buy it and play it yourself. If you are still interested to see what's up and what's going on, let's just jump right into the game.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Reynardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion, and he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
So as you can see here, there are some indicators that basically help you pick the correct story. To make it more interesting, I'm going to pick the temple because it doesn't have that much spoilers in it, and we can have some fun killing enemies, and I can show you off the mechanics and swords and all that kind of stuff.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis stone. It would whisper promises in his ear, offer him power for blood. But this time, Reynardo was sure he could master it. And so, Reynardo went ostrich hunting.
One thing I have to note about the game is that the loading times, or at least the initial loading time when you start the game, for some reason takes quite some time. I mean, I'm not running it from SSD, maybe that's the reason, but it does take like, I don't know, 40, 60 seconds, so in case it will take longer than that, I will just cut it here.
Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now, drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
Alright, there we go. That's actually a continuation of my previous run, and as you can see, I finished half dead, which is quite common, I would say, for the late game. It's like in the beginning, the game is very easy and there's no...
This chest contained blank passports from 15 countries. And something...
Yeah, I will try not to talk with the narrator, but it might be a bit hard because he is quite chatty. So I was saying, the game starts quite easily and, the combat is quite straightforward, but the longer you play, the harder it becomes. And then by the end, it can be dreadfully hard. So like last time, I barely finished the final battle, like right before the boss. So the game, as I already talked in the preview, is basically choose your own adventure.
What was he doing here? Last time, the stone had fought him for possession of his own soul.
It is a choose-your-own-adventure kind of game with action mechanics, basically. And the cool thing about it is, number one, as you play through the story, you will basically lose and unwind back in time. And as you lose and go back in time, you will actually discover new things. Ow, let me try to focus on fighting here. There we go. Yeah, so as I was saying, you will discover new things that will tell you what happened in reality and will help you... God damn it, what is even going on? Okay, let's try that again. That was combat. So, as I was saying, as you progress through the game again and again, you will uncover new things and gather new items, unlock new skills and level up your character, and all of that will go from the level 1. And as you do that, the enemies will become more powerful. So here's, for example, an altar. We actually have one skill point which we can spend somewhere. Let me think what I want. As you can see, I unlock most of the things, so basically leveling up here is quite easy. I'd say let's go for the hookshot damage, and then we can go for the hookshot speed, which can be quite nice because at the moment hook is quite slow. Alright, so yeah, as I was saying, the combat is okay. I mean, it's quite rhythmic, the same way that, for example, Arkham combat is done. So if you do it correctly, you can parry, you can block, you can smack the enemies, you can do things like this. And there are even things like near end blocking. Basically, if you block right before the enemy attacks, you get the time slow. Let's try to do that. Nope, that didn't work. Come on, attack me. Let me wait a bit. They ought to attack me, right? There we go. So this is basically slowed time for a couple of seconds, and I can just smack and murder them. We got this damned guy who buffs them. There are several types of enemies, and I now have this actually super weapon that you have to assemble the first time. I think they only give it after you finish the game, which makes it a lot easier. And once again, it's easy for now, but when you get to the end of the game or end of the chapter, it becomes hard again. What I really like about the game, beyond the narrator and pretty cool story, is the fact that basically the way that levels are built, yeah? The thing is that there is no such thing as the wrong way here. You can go anywhere and you will always end up at your destination. And even, you know, the levels are basically split into objectives, so sometimes you'll have to go into one destination, sometimes to another. Even that affects where you can actually go and how you will get there. And there's, by the way, quite a lot of those notes that give you background on the lore and the world and stuff like this, but I won't read it because there will be a spoiler again. Okay, yeah, so levels are designed really cool, and there's a lot of things to explore, a lot of ways to go, a lot of chests to open. Those, by the way, give you the ore, which you can use to upgrade your swords. I think need to upgrade one more sword, and that's it. I don't think you can look at it beyond the workbench, which we actually don't have. Okay, let's kill those guys and try not to die. Okay, thank you very much. Let's try not to explode. No, okay. I can use my sword to heal myself, actually. It worked not bad, but the style was not very good, and yeah, it's not an easy way to, like, it's not an easy combat. It's pretty entertaining, and this exploding bastard here again. There we go. Let's kill the buffer before he actually buffs anyone. There we go. You can unlock a lot of combo things that can help you in battle. Like, for example, if I get combo above 20, I can one-shot just about anyone, but there's nobody to one-shot, and I'm terrible at getting the combo multiplier higher than 20, so yeah, it's, once again, I wouldn't call it hard, it's not dreadful, and I think just about anyone can do it, but it's not an easy mechanically combat as well, because they keep adding different types of enemies, and you have to basically think faster, figure out who to kill first, and so on. So it's pretty interesting. Okay, here we have a workbench. You have gems that you can slot into your glove. Here you can see I unlocked all of them. All of them are level 3, so I basically collected all I can. I go with the resistances plus shield breaker to get rid of the annoying shields on the guys who have them. You can as well go with just about anything else. And then you have 4 of your swords. I have 3 of them at maximum level. The 2 is they burn everyone in the around and freeze everyone around, and the one that heals me, this is the basic one. And then I have the Void Blade that is just level 1. I still need 100 ore to get it. But, you know, those upgrades are definitely not necessary.
To be some way to use the Iblis stone. It was old, wasn't it? People are so much cleverer now. And Reynardo was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people.
Yeah, so you get those snarky comments and dialogue and all of that telling you the sort of backstory. It's really awesome. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. It feels like Bastion a lot, and like in a good way, you know, so it's not like a complete copycat or whatever. So I'm really liking it. Come on, let's kill that guy and smack that guy. Damn it, come on. There we go. And perfect, nice. So we get a chest and we probably will just get health from it. And basically that's one of the, I guess, complaints that I have, is that after you finish the game, there's really no way to go exploring for those sort of doors and secrets, because you don't get anything from them anyway, like maybe beyond health. Maybe for XP, like, you know, to get more XP while fighting, to level up, to get more skills, to unlock everything. But I'm not the kind of person who actually usually unlocks everything, so I tend to just go through the storyline and that's it. And also that ultimate weapon makes fighting quite much easier than it was before. And there we go, that's one hit kills. And my fancy time slow. Yeah, so I think that's actually about all I want to say about the game. I mean, I cannot really show you more without spoiling the storyline, which is basically the main thing to play for. So if the idea of exploring the levels each time you go through them in a different way, and you know, the thing is that like down there below, if you can see the things, we can actually go there. And depending on how we go, we might go there, or we might go, I think, to the right here. I don't remember exactly the path, but essentially all the stuff that you see in the background can be traversed, which is amazing in my opinion. So if the idea of choose your own adventure, where you have to basically figure out the correct story, the winning story, is appealing to you with kind of Bastion-like mechanics, with dodges, murdering people and different swords that have elements to them, I think Stories is a pretty great game, especially considering that it's just $15 or your original equivalent. I did had a couple of minor bugs that were a bit annoying. So one was that I couldn't attack after doing dodge. It was basically, I dodged into the wall, I think, and then he got stuck in the dodge animation. But after dodging one more time, I could continue battling without any problems. And the other bug that I caught was falling off the platform, but that was even less of a problem because I just got teleported back again and could continue right away. So yeah, the game works well. I mean, it's 30 FPS, it's Unreal Engine, it looks pretty nice. I wouldn't say, you know, it would win any graphic awards, but it's a pretty nice aesthetic. And the storyline and the narrator wins everything. This guy is amazing, so I'll just play again and again just to unlock all of the stories because I just want to hear him talk through them. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so this is Stories, Path of Destinies. It's pretty awesome. You can get it on Steam for $15 or original equivalent, or you can buy it for PS4 if you so desire. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you next time. Bye!